Welcome, Bryte Church, and everybody else who's listening. One of the things that I really miss from our congregational gatherings is when somebody comes up to you and asks, "How are you doing?" And you just share with them your worries, your accomplishments, your things that you're excited about, and then you ask them about how they're doing, and you have this chit chat that goes back and forth, and it really encourages you. And I miss that. I wonder if you guys miss that as well. And so in today's devotional, I'd like to just look at some passages that encourage us to encourage others. Hebrews 13:1 says, "Let brotherly love continue. Let brotherly love continue." There's a lot of other passages that tell us that we should encourage each other in fellowship, calling each other, maybe texting or emailing each other. Best, obviously, is to call, and not forgetting meeting together. Now, again, in this pseudo isolations that we're experiencing, that might not always be possible, but the Bible nonetheless encourages us, all of the apostles, Jesus does as well, to have fellowship and encourage one another. It's written here in 1 Thessalonians 5:11, "Therefore encourage one another and build one another up, just as you are doing." Hebrews 10:23, "Let us hold fast the confession of our hope without wavering, for he who promised is faithful. And let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near." 1 Peter 4:8, "Above all, keep loving one another earnestly, since love covers a multitude of sins. Show hospitality to one another without grumbling. As each has received a gift, use it to serve one another as good stewards of God's varied grace." Proverbs 12:25, "Anxiety in a man's heart weighs him down, but a good word makes him glad." 2 Thessalonians 1:3, "We ought always to give thanks to God for you, brothers, as is right, because your faith is growing abundantly, and the love of every one of you for one another is increasing." In Philippians 1:3, Paul says, "I thank my God in all my remembrance of you, always in every prayer of mine, for you all making my prayer with joy, because of your partnership in the gospel from the first day until now. And I am sure of this, that he who began a good work in you will bring it to completion at the day of Jesus Christ." So I want to encourage you guys, call somebody up if you haven't, and ask how they're doing. Encourage them with some memories together. And I'm speaking actually from experience, because recently Anatoly called me and said, "Hey, how are you doing? How are you and Ina holding up? How are your kids doing? How's work changed for you?" And it was really encouraging for me, because it was simple. It doesn't take a lot of time, and it's really nice to have that kind of fellowship. We should always thank God and also communicate with those people that we don't usually see, don't usually communicate with, but have poured a lot into our lives. And those might be, obviously, mentors from the past, maybe speakers at conferences, authors of books that you've read that really encouraged you. Of course, that includes parents and Sunday school teachers and grade school teachers, and whoever has actually invested into your life. Remember them. And this is why, actually, one of the reasons why Hebrews 13:17, the author of Hebrews says, "Obey your leaders and submit to them, for they are keeping watch over your souls, as those who will have to give an account. Let them do this with joy and not with groaning, for that would be of no advantage to you." And I was given an idea. I want to share this with you. We have 52 weeks in a year. You probably have way more than 52 people that have positively influenced your life. You should start making a list right now, and maybe the Holy Spirit is impressing on your heart right now some names. This, again, could be Sunday school teachers, anybody from the list of mentors or leaders that you have, under which you have been experiencing a lot of positive influence. Of course, this includes pastors and everybody in between. What you should do is make a list of 52 people, and very simple. Now, I have to admit that this is irregular in my life. Sometimes I remember my list and say, hey, I'm going to call somebody up. Take your list of people, call one person up, maybe this person you haven't seen for like 20 years, and just ask them how they are doing. Ask them about their worries, about their accomplishments, about what God's doing in their life. Remind them about fun times that you experienced. Remind them about things that they taught you. Ask them things that they're going through right now and for prayer requests. And then tell them that you're doing this thing for the rest of this week. You're going to be praying for them, praying for those prayer requests that they might have disclosed to you. And then once the week passes, don't forget to make don't forget to make a reminder for yourself for every day to pray for that person. Once that week passes, call the next person on your list to catch up, to find out how they're doing, encourage them again, and do this every single week. You'll have a person to pray about for the entire week. So I want to have you guys take some time. Maybe there's some 3 or 4 names that have already come up in your mind. Write them down right now, and after this video, call them up. Encourage them, ask them how they're doing, share what God's been doing in your life, and tell them you're going to be praying for them and their prayer requests. Be blessed.